there's other people in this movie, including
Glenn Howard.
Mason Gooding is in this movie. He's one of the guys.
The Yodel kid.
What's that?
The Yodel kid.
That's Mason Ramsey.
Oh, okay.
Who is the chef and
Brunch. Hit it, boys.
Change my mind. Twitter's good.
Why so?
Because today was the best day that has ever existed on Twitter. There are like banner days on Twitter, and most of them are like horrible, like banner days where everything was terrible. Remember being on Twitter while Trump was being elected, and people were like, "I'm gonna get off one last like, ugh, Trump is weird" joke, and I was like, "Stop making jokes. The world is ending, you idiots." This was like a rare. This is all amazing. Like the world is melting down on Twitter, and I couldn't be happier.
And this all stems from Tom Brady retiring, right?
Yes, I need Tom Brady to retire every day. Every day I'm going to tweet Tom Brady retire, buddy.
So like normally Twitter is bad for everybody all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Today it was just good for you. Like I don't think anybody had as much fun as you had today.
I spoke to 3 or 4 people who agreed that it was amazing. And this is from me reaching out to like 200 people being like, "Isn't this amazing?" 3 or 4 of them agreed like this is a wonderful thing
I
to
guarantee
watch.
like one of them was Jim Murray, the other one was Adam Jones.
I don't know if I touched base with Murray about it, but I
did see that
can
Murray was
guarantee
having a good time.
Murray was having a good time. Jones was having a good time. KFC watching from afar. I felt happy for him just like watching everybody freak out.
I'll tell you, KFC like fascinates / inspires me that he still has so much energy to like put into Twitter. Because if there's anybody who should have been beaten down by Twitter over the years and been like, whatever, I'm done with this shit, it should be KFC. But like, I'm amazed that like every day he wakes up and he's like, all right, let's stir the pot. And he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people like that. And I think that I would assume that he, hopefully Darren Rovell, not that I'm saying they're the same person, have an understanding of, well, it's all a freaking disaster, you know?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I think that's like part of why I have such a, like an appreciation for their energy levels, because like, I don't think KFC like takes it super seriously. And when things like, when things blow up or whatever, he's just like, whatever, this is like a game to me. I love the engagement or whatever. And I'm sure that like Rovell is part of the same way. I think Rovell's a little bit more sensitive, but Rovell's like, yo, this is just for the engagement. This is a game to me, whatever. And I think it's more dangerous when like somebody logs onto Twitter and like they're like, all right, this is life or death.
Yeah.
I'm here to fight or whatever. I sort of respect the people that will log on and be like, okay, let's stir up, let's have some fun.
Oh, a lot of my tweets are like, might as well end with comma, you babies. Like you're being babies about this, so here's a little joke. But I actually, the other day, I did something I never, ever, ever do, which maybe I should just start doing it more, but I blocked somebody. And I did it in the most devastatingly nice way in the world. I'd noticed somebody recently was like quote tweeting everything I tweeted, even like replies to somebody. He'd like jump on it and have some sort of thing, and whatever, people make fun of each other on Twitter or whatever, but like this person was like super personal, was digging through like I don't want to be dramatic, but like some like real like obsession.
You told me this, and I went and I looked, and like hating you was like
confirmed.
part of this guy's identity.
Yeah.
And also it wasn't just you. It was like it was one of those Boston
sports
media parasites.
People. Yeah. So I tweeted at him, and I was like, after he quote tweeted like a reply to somebody that he doesn't follow, I was like, look, man, I can't act like I'm not seeing you like digging through my replies and everything. I was like, I think I just said to him, like, I wish that this weren't the case. Like, this doesn't seem healthy. And he was like, oh, I can't say the heat, blah, blah. And I was like, no, like, you clearly don't like me. Like, it'll probably make your day if I block you. but you can unfollow, whatever. Just like try to feel good about yourself, and not in like a go seek help kind of way. Just like legitimately, like
this
don't
this
let
behavior
me be
is
the thing that makes you feel good about yourself.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, well, your parents are losers and everything." I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to be nice to you, buddy." So then I was like, "All right, well, I'm going to block you. Life is good, man. Like, if you ever need to talk." And then when you said that he, like, when I blocked him, was like, "Yeah, see."
Not only that, he usually when you block somebody, you're like, all right,
They
this
screenshot it and
person's gonna take a fucking victory lap
Yeah.
and be like, oh, I win.
Yeah.
I pissed him off or whatever. This guy sent 2 of those tweets.
What was it? I saw the one that was like, "Can't take the heat, stay out the kitchen," and I was like, I probably.
I mean,
can't
it was
take the heat,
it was
honestly.
basically like 2 of those. There was no difference between the 2 tweets. It was just, and it wasn't a mistaken second tweet. It was just like had the same message on both of them.
I'm positive that those are nice people, like in real life to people.
Probably, maybe.
I'd be surprised.
I
if
wouldn't
they
be.
were,
I wouldn't
like,
be
that
surprised if
visible in real
Twitter
life.
was their outlet to like just
Yeah.
be angry.
And not to defend this person because like they were saying like
Yeah, they're-
homophobic things and everything
Yeah.
like bad shit. Like
Oh
fuck that,
yeah, I did see
fuck
that.
that kind of
There was
behavior.
like a very homophobic tweet.
Yeah, what I want to say to that person is like, you think that like, I don't know, it's mean.
Like your
but, like,
dunk is
but-
like you're gay. Very
right,
cool, man.
Just like an adjective is like like a characteristic is your insult.
Those people drive me nuts, man. It's just like because you can't win. Like there's no logical argument to have with them, and
Yeah.
the best course of action for you is blocking the person, but it gives them the satisfaction that they want.
And like they'll take shots at like your looks and everything, and I've never been of the mind that looks actually factor too much into like. I'm sure it can factor into self-esteem.
even-
Like when you're looking good, you feel good and everything. But like,
But it wasn't even creative. He was just making fun of your nose.
right? But I was
Very
like,
cool.
not to be. Like, this sounds like super douchey, but like, I am probably happy is the wrong word because I'm not always happy. But like, I can hang with my nose probably better than somebody can hang with a bad attitude.
You're at
And I'll
peace.
also say like my nose is like it's personal preference. If I didn't like my nose, I'd have a nose job by now. Like
Well,
I've gotten
that's-
my teeth whitened before
well,
because I didn't like my teeth.
Yeah.
I got braces because I didn't like my teeth. Things like that. Like I think that my nose is actually awesome.
Your boy just booked a hair consultation today.
I already told you how it's gonna go.
You think
I
you
know
think
this-
that it's gonna go? DJ thinks that
They're going
they're
to-
gonna reject me because my hair has not receded enough.
They're gonna say we'd love to take
Which-
your money, but
That's fine. If that happens, that's fine. But I want to know that I took the steps, and I've said that we can go back, we can check the tapes.
Yeah.
We have receipts that I said like if I notice my hair going backwards, I'm gonna get on
Oh, no,
it. I'm gonna
I
do
would-
something about it.
you may have been quote tweeting me because I've said like I am going to have that number pre-dialed, ready to go the second I notice something. And whenever I get a haircut, I ask like, "How's it looking?" Other than this one part that somebody shaved, it's there because the second I can and the second I need it, I'm doing it. I don't think I'm anywhere near there, and I'm almost positive that you're not anywhere near there.
And if I'm not, great. At least I have the peace of mind knowing that I made the appointment, and like at the very least I can be like, okay, so what do I do
Yeah,
to like make sure that I'm doing the right things to keep my hair?
that's I mean, people should be like that with everything. If you suspect something,
It's hilarious.
Better
'cause
to know that.
I haven't been to the doctors in like 5 years.
oh no, if I think something's up, and like why worry about it? If you can go and it's not more than a copay, hopefully, depending
Right.
on what your health insurance situation is, if you can, it is absolutely smart to make sure you don't have bad shit. And I used to be like that. I used to go forever without going to the doctor, but
I'm going to the doctor this week, so we can relax. Anybody listening is.
yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, and I'm sure that there is very good reason to be like, "Yo, you got to go to the doctor," because I know that I have to go to the doctor. I'm going to the doctor this week.
Yeah, I mean, not to spoil anything in life, but at the very least, you're in your 30s, you're going to start getting health scares. Like, they happen, and they're not fun. And the craziest thing about it is they're, like, the best thing that can happen. Because the other thing that can happen is, like,
you
a
die.
real life. Like the options as you get older are you're afraid you might have something horrible, or
Something
you
horrible.
have something.
Yeah, right.
It's rare that you're like, oh, everything is perfect. I feel 100% okay. And that's why, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of, like, hypochondriac culture that was pushed back in the day of, like, oh, this person always thinks they're sick and everything. It's like, well, if that person thinks they're sick, they should make sure they're not sick.
Right.
And they should continue throughout their day. But, yeah, Twitter was a catastrophe because of Tom Brady, and I love it. Tom Brady retired, first of all, over the weekend, when Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington reported he's retiring, and then Tom Brady's family pushes back and says he hasn't announced anything yet, and Patriots fans are like, oh, Schefter made it up. Ooh, wrong. Ooh. Respond to all of his tweets. Like, I'm not trying to belittle anybody, but take a second
Right.
and think it through.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
They didn't say
I
he's
thought all
not
along.
retiring.
I thought all along that he was going to retire because I was like, yo, Adam Schefter, and not to say that like Schefter's perfect or whatever, and that he can't get anything wrong, but like
He's not getting that
I
wrong.
guarantee that Schefter is vetting something 1,000 times when it's as big as Tom Brady's retirement.
Yeah, and again, the family didn't say, no, that's wrong, he's not retiring. They said, oh, these people are being really hasty. They just want to report everything first or whatever. No, he was retiring, which is a surprise. He shouldn't have retired. He's still good. But like, why I'm wearing this Patriots jersey today, this Tom Brady jersey, is because he incited so much like safe chaos. Not healthy chaos, but like safe chaos. Like, not...
It can't
People
really
aren't
blow
breaking
back on him.
to any places, or like there's not going to be like another insurrection or anything. But Patriots fans, he announced his retirement, didn't thank the Patriots, didn't acknowledge them at all, wrote 1,000 words, and no mention of the Patriots. Everybody's first takeaway when they read this, which led to people saying, why didn't they thank the Patriots? Patriots fans saying, why didn't they thank us? Or, don't worry, something's coming. Or, he thanked us 2 years ago. And then some people in the media saying, no, nothing to see here, and everyone just yelling at each other, and it's like, it seems pretty clear, at least to me, my personal opinion, he was being kind of petty.
On one hand, yes, but also, like, on the other hand, he is retiring from the
Don't
Buccaneers.
say this. No.
Yes,
He's
he is.
retiring from the NFL.
Well, but he was a part of the Buccaneers, and, like, the Buccaneers'
so you thank
future...
them among the other... Peyton Manning, you know when Peyton Manning retired? You know who he thanked?
The Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts, the Broncos, and the Patriots. He thanked the Patriots.
What?
Among the teams he
Why?
thanked was the Patriots, because so much of his career involved the New England Patriots. So many great games against Tom Brady, and then beating them when he was with the Broncos.
I mean, it's definitely a little petty. You can't write that whole thing and then be like, and accidentally leave out like
That's
the
what
Patriots.
I'm saying. He was doing that to be
But-
petty, and that's fine. That's a human behavior.
And he probably knew that like it would be noticed that that the Patriots were omitted. But I don't think that like he's going. I don't think that it means that he hates the Patriots. I don't think
Nobody said it did.
Yeah, but people are taking it that way. They're like, yo, he's so petty because he hates the Patriots.
I think he gave them the middle finger. That's a
Probably
middle
he
finger,
probably
but
was
that's not.
he probably was like, I'll let them squirm for a couple days. I do think that there's something coming.
Yeah.
Like he is too good of a businessman
Right.
to like make this a spite or like an ongoing feud. He has TB12 here. He's going to be back here many times in like the future, whether it's his jersey retirement, like Hall of Fame shit. Like he is going to have a relationship with the Patriots for a long time.
Which makes this so much better.
It's just like a mini panic, and it's kind of hilarious.
It doesn't. Again, it's safe chaos. It doesn't mean Patriots fans should hate Tom Brady. they should say, "What the hell is this?" though, and they should freak out about it. I
don't think they should freak out about it. It's be like, damn, that's kind of crazy. That's that was the extent of my reaction. I was like, oh damn, that kind of it kind of sucks that like he doesn't even mention them in his announcement that he's retiring from the NFL.
Yeah.
And like, damn, that's kind of crazy. But it's not like it doesn't change anything for me as a Patriots fan. It's just like I wish that Tom Brady. I always was gonna wish that Tom Brady retired from the NFL as a Patriot.
It tells you there's still a little bit of he wants to take one last.
Who's that surprising?
Jab. Everybody. I'm surprised that he wouldn't thank the Patriots.
Yeah,
especially
I'm surprised
after he met with Belichick
I'm surprised that he wouldn't thank the Patriots, but I'm not surprised that there's still something like lingering there.
I love that so much. And then that led to a lot of Patriots fans saying, if you're complaining about this, you have to consider Tom Brady doesn't owe you anything. No, he doesn't owe you anything, but
it's
you
still
could
surprising.
still do a courtesy. If I'm leaving Dunkin' Donuts and I shut the door behind me, I don't then turn around and walk back in and say, that's right, ma'am. I don't owe you a damn thing. It's just a nice thing to do, and the normal thing that you do to say, thank you to everybody. Thank you to Mr. Kraft, Belichick. It's been a wild ride since being that fat kid that got drafted back in 2000 and 1999.
The thing that really put it over the top for me was the fact that he used the picture from the win over the Patriots.
Yeah.
That was for sure intentional.
Right.
Like
little, just
not like
jabbies.
Everything that Tom Brady does is calculated and intentional. Like he's essentially Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah.
There's not a move that guy makes that isn't like very well thought out and meticulously planned from like a PR perspective.
Yeah, he's
And,
Taylor Swift without making everything. Taylor Swift makes everything into how she's a victim, and Tom Brady makes everything into like a poem about lions. That's those are like their two main things, but they go about both things with the same kind of conviction, I would say.
So what was the level of hatred in your mentions from your Tom Brady gloating today on a scale of like 1 to 10 based off of like the Mac Jones standard?
Much lower.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, everybody pretty much on board. People were like enjoying the jokes.
Okay.
I did Michael Jordan, fuck them kids.
Yeah, that
Tom
was pretty
Brady,
good.
fuck them Patriots.
I did a couple of like not like angry Patriot fan meme where I did like the one where
you can joke about where.
Yeah, right.
You can joke about the Patriots. I love this. There was somebody that tweeted at me one time. It was like, I don't know why I follow you. With how much you shit on the Eagles, you clearly don't know anything about music. And I was like, I love the Eagles. What is this person talking about? And then I remembered, I make jokes about the Eagles. I make fun of Don Henley, whom I fucking love so much. We can joke about things that we like, but this person took, I guess, some of those jokes as DJ doesn't like the Eagles. That's what people do with the Patriots, where like if you make a joke
people
about
do with
my
everything
team,
now.
Yeah, right, really. We must be deadly serious about everything, and if we're not, then it means that like I thought about making like a badge to tweet back at people, which is you like the Patriots more than I do. Then congratulations, you got me.
Well, I mean that goes back to my comment about like people logging onto Twitter being like, yo, this shit is life or death, and I'm here to battle.
Yeah.
That's like 75% of Twitter now. Whereas, like, when Twitter was good, 75% of the user base was people logging on being like, yo, I'm going to make some dumbass jokes and memes today.
Get some jokes off.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out ESPN has been doing the Bleacher Report USA Soccer picture thing. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Remember
yeah,
so you know what they've been doing?
Yeah, I saw, like, they posted, it was like Brady, like
multiple iterations of
Brady,
the
right.
same athlete,
Yeah.
usually embracing. Like they had Matthew Stafford as a lion, like congratulating Matthew Stafford as a ram. And I get in this argument with one of my friends in particular all the time. She thinks that like it's some wild take that I have that these places do it on purpose for engagement.
No, they definitely do.
And I'm like, oh, come on.
No, yeah. And
it's smart if like the goal is
yeah,
engagement.
but it's so weird. And
it's like when we talked about how
Well,
like, sadly Donald Trump was the best at Twitter.
yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I couldn't follow him and I couldn't look at a word of it. But as far if like the goal, if your goal is engagement, which it's definitely not mine, people like that
Right.
are great at it.
It's a little scarier when like the stakes are so high when you're like the leader of the United States of America.
I watched a Genius video. Do you ever watch those videos? They're called I don't know. They're made by Genius. You know Genius, like the lyrics website.
No, they don't eat it. They don't eat breakfast.
Right. They don't eat breakfast, and they post lyrics that are hyperlinked, and there's like little descriptions of like, kind of like Wikipedia. This is what we think that this lyric means.
Okay.
So, oh my God, we should look at Father John Misty's one time.
No.
I'm sure they are way off, but sometimes they do videos with artists breaking down their own lyrics, which personally I don't like. That's kind of like looking at the set list before you see a show. Like, I don't want all of it revealed to me.
Yeah.
But they had Matty Healy talking about Love It If We Made It.
Okay.
And he was going line by line, and he was saying like one of the lyrics is about, he was like,
fucking in a
we're
car.
going to get, he's like, we might get in a nuclear war because two guys can't control themselves on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and so like that's the biggest difference for me for like good Twitter and bad Twitter is that everybody just logs on to fight like it's like goddamn life or death now.
I've mainly been I haven't been like thoughts Twitter much. I've been that
Thoughts
a lot.
Twitter?
Yeah, like my Twitter I think most of the time is my thoughts, which not thoughts that are for like actual people, but just like a random thought that this is how I'll delete it from my brain. I'll tweet it, and it'll just be like some like music observation or something like that can float away and nobody sees it and likes it. But the times I've most enjoyed Twitter have honestly been either the last hockey playoffs or this hockey playoffs. I was just like all about like jokes.
Yeah.
I was just.
I mean,
like,
and
recently I've just been like
I say this
sports
genuinely.
jokes.
I think that you've gotten better at Twitter, at, like using Twitter as it's meant to be. And I don't know if that's because everybody else is using it as I don't believe that it's meant to be.
Right, they've just gotten psychotic.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay.
And you've just gotten like stupider and stupider, and
Yeah.
just like using it as like a shit posting forum. But like I think that you're getting better at Twitter.
A lot of shit posting. Didn't tweet this. You use this one on the TV the other day, but you said Mac Jones. Did you hear my Mac Jones Pro Bowl take?
No.
Pro Bowl should just show a rerun. If you like, imagine if we were doing the way I described the show that I was on. I was like, this would be like if Natalie, the host, couldn't make it, and Colton, another guy on the show, couldn't make it, and I named like 16. If Monica couldn't make it and Jackie couldn't make it, I named like 13 people, and I was like, so then they needed me to host it. I would not say that I was the host of this show.
Yeah.
I would say that
Like everybody died.
maybe we didn't need to air a show today. That's how I feel about the Pro Bowl. Like if neither of us could make this, and like Jeff was unavailable, and there were no flights from Austin, none of the circling back guys could come do it. Oh, that's really funny. The idea that if we couldn't do brunch, we had the circling back guys do it, and we were like, so can you guys come to Boston and record the episode? Neither of us are able to make it instead of them just doing it from where they are. But that's what Mac Jones being in the Pro Bowl is. And I'm probably going to get the jersey.
I'm pretty proud of the Mac Jones joke that I made at poker night. I joined poker night a couple weeks ago, and I made a good Mac Jones joke.
Yeah.
You said you had an NFT of Mac Jones throwing an interception, and I said, doesn't sound very rare.
Got big laughs. You were very well received at the old table. It's some of my close friends. It's a good group of people.
I don't remember the last time that I was like in an intimidating environment. That felt like an intimidating environment because it's like you're the new guy. I'm the new guy. Like this is clearly like an important thing. It's clearly like a bunch of guys that like have a good sense of humor. They've established rapport. They have like rules and stuff.
Pete's describing, folks, if you're not keeping up, Pete's describing a group of friends.
Yeah, I'm not usually around those.
There's like a lot of people, and like You seemed familiar with all their names. You were referencing things that I didn't get. Maybe past experiences you had together.
Well, I guess maybe just during the pandemic, I haven't been around like new people that I've been unfamiliar with.
Oh, dude, when we went to dinner before Kacey Musgraves' concert last week.
Oh, we'll be talking about that later.
We were at a table in a restaurant with a group of people, and we were gonna like fucking order things after the person next to us ordered, and then at the end we were gonna split the check and all the shit, and it was so weird because I'm sure I've done that a few times the last couple of years, but it was like
felt weird.
Not off. Like there's been a reason for doing it. Like unfortunately, it's been like somebody like I was at like a wake or something,
right.
and then met up with people or
like a birthday,
or yeah,
like in like when it has happened over the past couple of years, it's for me it's usually been like close friends.
Yeah,
like very like going down the list of A, B, C friends. It's usually the A
yeah,
group.
like I've done that with like you and Ellen and shit like that. But like
very rarely has it been like
this was my
new
other
group.
friends.
Yeah, a new group of friends. So we'll talk about the concert here in a little bit.
But first, why don't you tell them about Diet Smoke?
Hey, thanks. I was gonna, but you jumped in there.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
This is I'm leading this segment. It's the Diet Smoke ad. Diet Smoke is a product that I'm gonna have my dear friend Pete Blackburn, with whom I now share many mutuals.
That's right.
Give you a little update on this. How's Diet Smoke doing, Pete?
Diet Smoke is doing great. It's near and dear to my heart. It's a product that I know and love quite well.
Pete.
It is about me because I'm giving my testimonial here.
Okay, here's a testimony from my friend Pete. You're listening to really the best DJ segment of the podcast. Pete, continue.
A product that I know very well, edibles. But the problem with edibles is that sometimes it's a roll of the dice.
Expire.
No, they might, but
I've had expired edibles. I think they just don't work as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that when you do edibles, it's very much a roll of the dice. A lot of the time.
How can you know if they've expired? You're high.
That's right. It's you're just making it up in your head. Yeah. You're just losing track of your thoughts.
I ever tell you about the time I was on edibles and the rotten kids rang the doorbell?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. The problem with edibles sometimes is that like you're really kind of taking a chance with, oh boy, you might end up too high. The solution to that is Diet Smoke, because
awesome.
Diet Smoke makes sure that you're not going to be baked out of your mind. If you want to sit there, suffer, be stoned, can't think, can't get a hold of your thoughts,
you're all gross.
You can go with the regular edibles, or you can choose Diet Smoke, which is the perfect medium high with Delta 8 THC gummies. It's a less potent THC. It comes from hemp. Some may call it a loophole. I wouldn't call it that. I call it the secret recipe to getting a smooth, stable, and most importantly, legal high.
Hey,
don't break the law, kids.
Hey, Pete, how do you make something the color of cigars?
I don't know.
You Diet Smoke.
Jesus Christ. Diet Smoke is legal in most states, and it's non-prescription. Just check Diet Smoke's website to see if they ship their delicious gummies to your state. Now, you're probably asking yourself,
did DJ write that joke, or did he get it off the internet? That's an original.
Nice. It's pretty good. Does Diet Smoke really get you high?
Now I'm asking you, Peter. Does
yes,
it?
Of course it does.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Nice.
They get you high with it's best described somewhere between the chillness of CBD and that classic stoned feeling you get with regular weed. Here's something that I didn't write. It's written here on this page, but it's good and valuable nonetheless. Diet Smoke isn't light. It's just right.
You didn't write that?
I didn't, but I wish I did.
Man.
Whoever came up with that in the Diet Smoke boardroom probably got a raise.
Here's the thing about Diet Smoke. It's delicious. You want to go live in a yurt
You've
for
already
a year?
used that joke in the last
Yurt it up.
Diet Smoke comes in 2 delicious flavors. There's blue raspberry and watermelon.
It's delicious.
Blue raspberry and watermelon. They're both great. try them both, figure out which one is more up your alley. Each gummy is infused with 10 milligrams of Delta-8 THC derived from American-grown hemp. Buy American, get high with American. They say, you know what they say, buy American, get high with American. I don't think they say that.
I think it's a Beatles lyric.
They're low in sugar, fat-free, and
Get
delicious.
By with American.
So, when CBD isn't enough and traditional THC is too much, enjoy the smooth buzz of Diet Smoke. Go to dietsmoke.com and use the promo code BRUNCH for 20% off your order. That's BRUNCH. That's right. I'm spelling my own podcast for you. Dietsmoke.com, promo code BRUNCH for 20% off. Diet Smoke Delta THC are not for use or sale to people under the age of 21. Please use responsibly.
Patreon, a real party these days. We're getting the patrons. They're jumping aboard. We are 5 away from the sleepover, thanks to people like Brady, Julia, Frank, Kenyon, Patrick, Willie, Shane, Stephanie, Jake, Michael, Derek, Kate, Nikki, Pat, Larry, Gavin, William, Rachel, Joel, Emily, Joe, Tommy. That's Tommy Giles. Tommy Giles joined the Patreon. What a guy. John, Ryan, all sorts of people on the Patreon, and it is a good time. We're posting things. We're chatting with each other. We're exchanging nice notes. Sometimes I'll send you a nice note. You'll send us a nice note. We will just shoot those things back and forth.
You know who didn't get a nice note today? The Patriots fans. So
Yes.
if you're a Patriots fan and you're just dying for a nice note, we got you. Sign up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/listentobrunch.
Yeah, again, we are 5 away from the sleepover.
We're starting to hatch some sleepover plans.
Yeah, I just started a document today, just like trying to do a little brainstorming and throw things out there, and we figure out how we'll kill those hours. I don't think it will be tough. I think that it'll be a very good time.
You know, it'd be cool, a post-Super Bowl sleepover stream.
I thought about that, like Super Bowl night might be good, but I have plans, so cannot.
Couldn't be me.
Well, maybe you're Mr. Friendmaker over here.
That's true. I'm really turning the corner on the friendship game.
Yeah,
I've got like 2 new friends.
Yeah, we'll discuss. Patreon.com/listentobrunch. 5 away from the sleepover. A lot of cool things.
Also, we've got some giveaways coming up.
Yeah, we do. So this is not just a Patreon thing. We'll do this for everybody, but we're going to the Green River Festival in Western Massachusetts. It's June 24th through 26th. It caught our eye because it's got that lineup. It's got Lake Street Dive. It's got Father John Misty doing a solo set. It's got Guster. It's got his Golden Messenger, Ripe. Everyone's talking to me about Ripe. They don't stop talking to me about Ripe.
It's got my birthday.
It's during your birthday. Do you know the band The Dip? They got a song called Sure Don't Miss You. It is a great, cool, smooth, fun song. A lot of great acts there.
I've heard a lot of people are buying The Dip.
They are buying The Dip because crypto's down. But you know what else is down? Me. To go to the Green River Festival 2022, June 24th through 26th. And this is at the Franklin County grounds. It's sponsored by Greenfield Savings Bank. We're going. A lot of great bands have gone in the past. Dr. Dog's played there. Houndmouth has played there. This ain't Lake Street Dive's first rodeo there. Super excited to see Father John Misty play solo. Never done that before, although I do often watch his solo set at, maybe it was the Newport Folk Festival. It was the day after his rant where he explains that he's just what he was going through, what was on his mind, talking about it, and then he says, all right, I need to wrap this up before someone writes a blog about this. And then he says, beloved folk singer Chris Isaac delivered a lethargic rant in front of hundreds. And then he played Now I'm Learning to Love the War. It's one of my favorite Father John Misty videos. We'll post it on the Patreon. But we're going to be there. We can't wait. You ever seen Guster live?
No.
Guster's a fun time live, and I'm not crazy about Guster.
I barely know her.
You'll see, you see them at a music festival, and they're just like a very good see him at a music festival band.
Mm-hmm.
Walked by their set at Osheaga a million years ago. We were like, you know what? Let's sit down and listen to Guster a little bit. It was a very good time. And Lake Street Dive, if you haven't seen them live, you are crazy because they are
I haven't, but I'm
fantastic.
very excited.
They're as good a live band as you'll see. But Father John Misty, we won't bullshit a bullshitter. Definitely most excited to see Father John Misty,
Big shock.
who we're also seeing this month.
That's crazy.
Big month for us. Marry Me comes out, and we will see Father John Misty, and we're going to go rollerblading, all sorts of things. Great times are ahead, including at the Green River Festival 2022, June 24th through 26th at the Franklin County Fairgrounds. Mentioned, we're going. Who else is going? I don't know. You, if you play your cards right, we are going to give away 4 pairs of passes to this festival.
That is a outrageous amount of tickets.
That is 8 passes in total.
I believe that's how math works.
If my algebra is correct. Is
Yes.
algebra the one with X and Y and everything? That's algebra, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm serious.
I
because
think. I don't know.
you think-
I'm not
but
a
you-
math guy.
I wish you were positive because for sure one of the types of math is fun, and it's the one with X and Y. Whatever the one solve for X is,
Well, it's not geometry.
not geometry. That's shapes.
Yeah.
Not.
I think it is algebra.
not trigonometry. I think I just kind of like fake took that class.
It's not calculus.
Not calculus. I remember calculus was tough.
Yeah, calculus sucked.
I
I think you're right. I think it's algebra.
I was not like a big math SATs guy.
I was not a big math guy.
Yeah.
I had like when you started to like get into like the tiers of math classes towards the end of high school, I was like trending up in every other
They slowed me down.
yeah, every other course or subject, and then I was just going backwards in math.
Yeah. SATs, man. I tell you that when I was in a meeting with a interview with a school, and they were like, "So, how'd you do on your SATs? How'd you do on reading or English, whatever?" And I incorrectly, whoops, said my writing score. My writing score was fucking bomb. He was like, "What'd you do? How'd you do on reading?" I said the writing score, and he was like, "No, you didn't." He was like, I have like all of your information right in front of me." And I was like, is reading the one where like
Pretending to
write?
be confused about reading.
yeah,
That's
sorry, the one where like I read there's a prompt at the beginning. It says, write
I mean,
about
technically, every section of the SATs is
I read
reading.
that. Yeah. I did reading on that. And
I mean,
then
you can't answer
I'm
the
such a
questions
good
if you don't
writer
read them.
That I proofread what I wrote afterwards. That one's not the reading one. Anyway, so we will be giving out hella passes.
Yeah.
I think we're thinking 2 to Patreon people. So if you want better chances,
2 pairs.
Yeah, 2 pairs to
2
Patreon
pair.
people. So it's a little poker term Pete picked up when he was
That's
playing with the
right.
fellows. And your odds will go up if you're with the Patreon folk. We'll give one away just willy-nilly. We'll find some way to give away to like the general public of our listeners. And then 1 pair we will give away during the sleepover stream. So that'll be cool. I like the idea of working prizes into the sleepover stream.
Mm-hmm.
Get people excited about it. So, I mean, think about it. I mean, if you want to get us closer, if you want tickets to this, it behooves you to join the Patreon because A, it improves your odds because you'll be in the smaller group with the Patreon to get tickets. And even if you don't get tickets in the Patreon group, you're moving us closer to the sleepover stream happening, which means another
That's
another
true.
pair will be available for you. So
Yeah, like, and if you like Father John Misty, you like Guster, you like Lake Street Dive, and you want to go see him, and you already signed up for the Patreon, tell like your boyfriend, your girlfriend,
Stack
sign
your
up for
odds.
the. Yeah, right. Get another entry.
yeah, it's not illegal for one couple to have 2 Patreon memberships.
No, because there's 2 tickets, so
Yeah.
like one person is getting 1 entry.
That's smart. You know what? I checked out the you mentioned the Circling Back Reddit the other day, and so I was like, oh, I haven't checked that out in a while. So I checked it out. Somebody posted on there like, hey, raise the prices of the Patreon, please. Like living expenses are everything is going up 5, I'm sure, sounds like a nice round number, but if you want to raise it to 6, I'm sure nobody will bat an eye. And everybody was commenting, and they were like, yeah, please do that. That's smart. I was like,
That's crazy.
man, washed people.
The washed people are
circling back
awesome.
People.
Very,
Yeah.
very awesome.
We had such a good time casting with those guys. Was texting with Dylan for days afterwards, just reminiscing.
This happens, I feel like, every time, but like as soon as we stopped recording with them, like we were like, yeah, we should do more stuff with them. They're awesome, and it's always so much fun. So they will be back in the mix for sure. We have our next Tomato Fights guest lined up.
Yeah.
And I believe that we have the movie matchup. It won't be this
yeah.
week. It'll be next week.
Probably next week, yeah.
We haven't actually discussed this, but do you want to do the Sean Payton movie for Friday?
That sounds lovely.
Okay, let's do that. So on Friday, our Patreon episode is going to be us reviewing the Sean Payton movie starring Kevin James, which I believe comes out through
I think
Netflix.
It's already out.
It's on Netflix, though? I believe so.
I think it's Netflix. I saw a screening of a movie yesterday that I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about yet because I know sometimes movies have embargoes and stuff.
We got a bad boy.
And I don't know, like, if I'm allowed to say whether or not I liked it, but I saw the new Jenny Slate and Charlie Day movie, a little film called I Want You Back, where 2 people get dumped, find each other crying, realize, hey, we're both bummed out about the same thing, so they decide they are going to ruin the other's ex's new relationship. So, like, Jenny Slate says, okay, Charlie Day, your girlfriend found a new man. I'm going to break him up. Charlie Day, you got to break up my new man and his new girl. But they're super mean to Charlie Day. They're like, you won't be able to seduce this girl, though, because you aren't that attractive. Which I was like...
Since when? In what world?
Yeah, I was like, Charlie Day's fine.
Yeah.
He's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But it's... I don't know what you're allowed to say if there's an embargo or whatever, but this will be a movie that we'll see and we'll talk about.
Okay, just whisper. It was good.
I thought it was adorable.
Okay, cool.
It's like
I mean, based on the plot, it doesn't seem like a movie that you would like.
Oh,
it
no.
sounds slightly problematic.
Oh, I mean,
they're assholes.
People get pissed about it. Let me tell you. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it, but like when they find out what's going on, they're like, what the fuck?
Okay.
And like, there's nothing wrong with these people who dumped them.
Right. Yeah.
The relationships didn't work out.
Yeah. Right. That happens.
So it like wasn't cool what they were doing.
Right. You deserve to get another chance after you break up with somebody new, if that's what you want.
Yeah. They realized. I mean, you can guess who they end up with, but
yeah, I can definitely. I think I know.
They probably weren't even that compatible with the people they were seeing initially.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
It sounds like I know exactly what happens in this movie.
I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself. I think you're.
I think I get a pretty good idea.
I think there are twists and turns. I'm positive there are twists and turns.
It turns out that Charlie Day is not hideous, and
Charlie
he
Day's-
can seduce somebody.
Charlie Day can seduce anybody he wants, as long as they want to be seduced.
That's right. The waitress found out he married her in real life.
That's right. You know, they met in their relationship, and they started doing It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's crazy.
They knew each other before that.
That doesn't work. That doesn't check out. It's not
And
possible.
Rob McElhenney and Caitlin Olsen were both in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia together. And they met there. And then I went to a Philadelphia Phillies game, and Rob McElhenney threw out the first pitch. I'd never seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia before, and everybody was so excited, and we were standing on the side, and he came over and he started talking to the people.
Did Chase Utley catch the first pitch?
This was before those episodes. This was going into, I think, season 2 or 3, and everybody was all excited, and they were saying, when's the new season coming out? And I remember he was like, October. And I was like, every show comes out in October. Why did they... These people have a couple minutes to talk to this person that they seemingly think is pretty cool, and they're asking, like, basic... They might as well say, like, hey, what's your profession? Like, you know that the show's coming out in October. But that made me want to check out the show because he seemed like a cool, down-to-earth guy. And I knew, I'm like, this show's on FX. He's probably going to be down-to-earth anyway. If he's acting all bigger than Jesus, I'd be like, excuse me, sir, I've never seen your show. It's on FX. But now, the way we talk about FX is much different. That was back then when FX wasn't this.
Well, now it's on
huge.
FXX.
Now it's on FXX.
Yeah.
So it's like formerly FX.
Mm-hmm.
It's the X of FX.
Right.
But Charlie Day's in a new movie where he has an X.
Did you-
and he tries to.
Well, you watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know that that Danny DeVito and Glenn Howard didn't know each other. You know that they date, right?
Yes, because Glenn Howard went to Juilliard, and now he's very good about his diet. And Danny DeVito did an episode. They did a Christmas episode, and he was like in a couch, and he was naked. And that's to me where I thought that, all right, this has all kind of jumped the shark a little bit. Like, you want to do a Christmas special.
It's always
fine.
Glenn Howard and never Glenn Howard you.
Do you pronounce the T hard in? How do you pronounce? I say Glenn Howerton, but I hear people say Howarden.
Glenn Howerton.
Glenn
It just
Howerton?
depends on how fast you want to say his last name.
Well, there's other people in this movie, including
Glenn Howard.
Mason Gooding is in this movie. He's one of the guys.
The Yodel
from-
kid.
What's that?
The Yodel kid.
That's Mason Ramsey,
Oh, okay.
who's the chef, and Mason Gooding is one of the kids in Scream,
Okay.
and
He
he's one
wa-
of the
he
kids
was
in the new.
He was in Jerry Maguire.
He was in the new Scream. No, that's his dad, Cuba Gooding Jr. for real. And I looked that up. I said, wait a second, is this kid related to Cuba Gooding Sr.? And he is Cuba Gooding Sr.'s grandson, which makes Cuba Gooding Jr. the meat in that Gooding sandwich.
Okay.
And honestly, the bread ain't bad either, because I think that this kid is a good actor and has his career ahead of him. He plays a law school student in this movie, but he plays a high schooler in this other movie, so he's showing some
That's
range
range.
as far as age and everything like that goes. And he's actually quite sexually active in this movie, as I think he also is in Scream, right?
Well,
Isn't
he's
he-
trying to be.
Is it? I just remember like
He was trying to be. Remember?
his girlfriend was trying to be, and he didn't want to go have sex with her because then they would be alone. And he said,
That's what I'm
"While
yeah.
I don't know who the killer is, can't take any
But
chances."
he was trying to be before that. He was like
Oh,
he was all
before.
about it before that, and then she wanted to go upstairs, and he was like, actually,
Well, famously, Meghan Trainor was all about that bass.
That
no
was
treble.
that was probably the most unrealistic part of the new Scream. Is that a high school kid who was like horny as hell?
Wouldn't risk his life.
Yes, wouldn't risk his life to get laid for the first time.
So had they not consummated?
I don't think so.
Interesting. Well, so it's weird that Cuba Gooding Jr. Jr.'s dad is named Cuba. Cuba Gooding Jr. is named Cuba. His son is named Mason, and Meghan Trainor's name is No. Do you know that? Do you get that reference? She has a song called No, and the lyrics go, I'm going to get genius on your ass. The lyrics go, my name is No, my number is No, my sign is No. You need to let it go, need to let it go. N to the O to the na na na. It's very Destiny's Child, jumpin'. And honestly, it's like a bit, appropriation is the wrong word, because I don't think that there's anything like malicious or harmful there, but it is just so Bruno Mars-ish carbon copying of this. And it's weird when Bruno Mars lifts stuff from the 70s. I'm like, that's cool, the 70s aren't happening right now. And even when Bruno Mars lifts stuff from the early 90s, like with Straight Up and Down and Finesse, stuff coming from like the New Jack era, that's the early 90s. But when you're lifting from Destiny's Child, that ain't that long ago, and Beyonce's still doing it. So do we need to have that sort of thing going on? And Jenny Slate plays somebody who has been dumped in the movie, and she's crying, and she has mascara running down her face, and Charlie Day says, I'm sorry you have mascara on your face. And she was like, well, you have toilet paper on your face. face because he was also crying because they both got dumped in this movie, and they kind of help each other get through the breakup, but they're not doing it in the most healthy way. But it's a healthy movie. I went in there, okay, left, okay. I had a smile on my face. Somebody asked me after, what did you think of the movie? I said it was adorable. So when it comes out, it hits streaming services. I'm going to see it again, probably. I think I am allowed to talk about it, come to think of it, because before they showed the movie, they had a little feature thing. It was Jenny Slate and Charlie Day, quite clearly in something that was taped via Zoom, discussing, hey, if you like this movie, please tweet about it and use the hashtag. I think it was I Want You Back. It's the name of the film. And they were saying, if you don't like it, well, that's fine. They were quite cool about it. But they were saying, if you like it, tweet about it. So I'm going to double check, make sure that that's all above board. And then I'm happy to discuss it with you. I want you to see it too, though, because that's kind of our thing. We'll see movies and we'll talk about it on the podcast. We went to Kacey Musgraves last week.
We sure did.
Yeah.
And boy, that was a fun
What's
time.
so funny about that?
No, it was no.
My God.
You know,
Boy, are my arms
we're allowed to
tired.
talk about that.
Yeah. No embargo there. Is the video frozen? I hope it isn't frozen.
Oh, it actually is. That is unfortunate. Oh wait, no, it's not. We're good. It may have been frozen, but
No,
it's not anymore.
As in N to the O to the na na not. My name is no. My number is.
I'll tell you, I had the time of my life at Kacey Musgraves. That was an absolute party.
So did I. We were texting the next morning. We were like, "Yo, life pretty solid, right?" Like you said, you had a pep in your step as a result of it. It was just a good night. We saw friends. We saw good music. All three of the performers were sensational. Muna, just an infectious, fun vibe. You can't not have fun. Whoever their guitarist is, they have three guitarists, I suppose. There's the lead singer plays guitar. One looks like she's kind of doing more maybe synth-based stuff. Then there's someone who's the guitarist, and we quickly said
they were the
Deej
show
of
person.
that group
Yeah.
because they were just running around. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not saying this is a knock. It's possible that the only thing that we were hearing that was coming from that stage was the singer's voice because like everything was like to a track and that's fine. That's how, especially if you're like an indie band playing in an arena, you're probably not going to get like the mixing and everything that in this like the sound check that's required for everything to sound good and great. But so there was like a lot of, if I don't want to play this guitar right now and I want to pump my fist instead and dance around, then I'll do that. And they took that opportunity.
And the
love
energy was
guitarist.
incredible.
Yeah, everyone on stage was just having an awesome time. Their front woman, fantastic. They're a very fun time.
Yeah, my big takeaway was that Muna looks like if you were going to cast a high school band playing at a gigantic party, like a Project X party in a high school movie. Like, they nailed, like, the casting, what everybody would look like in the band for the movie.
Yeah. I mean, they all did kind of have, like, their own... Like, there was... The Vampire Weekend, they were not. Where, like, there was... Vampire Weekend, when they hit the scene, there was, like... All right, they wear polos, and they wear khakis. I actually think they had, like, a rule in the band. Like, no T-shirts. Like, we will have, like, this kind of preppy look. And there are some, I don't know, you go see Father John Misty, it's generally like dress clothes, but it can be kind of frumpy dress clothes
Right.
if
It's
people
like-
need.
It's like
There's
day
generally a
3 of a
theme.
bender after leaving the office.
Right. There's generally a kind of theme there. And Muna is, like, I can tell they all wear something different each night.
Yeah.
So they were great. King Princess.
King Princess rocked.
Not surprised by that performance at all. Was awesome. Dropped the P word more times than...
A lot of P words.
I don't know if we've discussed this, but like the P word has unquestionably made a comeback.
It's been reclaimed.
Everybody, right, I was going to say people say it, and I don't shudder when I hear it. For whatever reason, and please tell me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, I want to be.
No,
I wanna know.
you're not.
That's a word that always struck me with like I didn't know this word at the time, but like toxicity and like just like douchiness and everything now. But now it's like.
I mean, it still does if you use it with like anger, but like the mere mention of it isn't like, ugh, we don't say that anymore kind of deal. Like it's been reclaimed as like sort of like a fun thing, I guess.
Well, King Princess wanted you to know that she finds it very fun.
Yes.
She came out and was, but before she played her song "Pussy Is God," she was like, "All right, who here likes P word?" And we're like, I mean, there's a lot of people here,
Yeah.
so just mathematically, that's something a lot of people like. I got the response I expected. A lot of people were like, me.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. She was running back and forth. She was like, P word, P word, P word. She like threw it out there a million times. I don't know why I feel I can say it when I'm quoting the song.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Like I'll say like, hey, I'm gonna go see Jackass this week. I wouldn't dare say, Pete, will you quit being JA? I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, she was great. I would say she brought the house down, but like it was like the house didn't need bringing down.
No, I think like the big thing for me was that I really enjoyed Kacey Musgraves. She was she was really, really good. Like maybe I would say she was even great.
Excellent. Yeah, I thought she was excellent.
I think that the openers like brought the show from great to being like very great.
Yeah, like
the entire experience was incredible.
Yeah, I don't know how long my list of like favorite shows I've ever been to is. I've been to too many. That's not true.
It was one
I've
of the
been
more
to
favorite
the
shows that I've been
number,
to.
But like that was like I'll think of that as like that was one of my favorite shows. And Kacey Musgraves was excellent, and that was the most I feel openers at a big show like that like really got you up. And that includes, I mean, Haim before Taylor Swift is like cheating because it's Haim.
Yeah, and maybe it was like, well, it should be mentioned that we had like incredible seats. We were in the pit.
Oh yeah,
down on the floor, and it's hard to be jazzed for an opener when you're like up in the seats because you're further away from the action.
Stadium, I mean.
Usually there's like less people around you. Because we were so close, like there was a lot of people there. The energy was really good. Like I don't remember Haim like really registering for me before Taylor Swift, even though I love Haim.
Yeah.
Because we were so far away.
If memory, so that I think that it wasn't it Lollapalooza that made you all in on Haim? I think that like you liked Haim and you were like, yeah, these songs are good and everything. And then
it was
Lollapalooza,
yeah.
because we were like close and everything.
And we did the second show. They did a separate show in Chicago.
Oh, that was a different.
That
trip.
was a different time.
Yeah,
okay,
that was a different trip, but yeah, there is something for like being right there.
Yeah,
and Kacey Musgraves was awesome. So glad I went. And honestly, leading up to it, before I'd realized that before I'd remembered that the openers were the openers, I was like, we were kind of talking about it as like a, hey, what are we going to do about this
you're right.
show kind of thing of like, do we need to go? Like,
and
got
like,
the tickets, but like whatever.
For some reason, like I've been my stocks on Musgraves have been low because I didn't love the latest album, but like I think I forgot how much I loved Golden Hour, and I've been hammering Golden Hour since the show.
Same. I tweeted after, like, even if you didn't like that album, which, and by that album I mean Star-Crossed, which I didn't like that album. I just don't think it was very good. It is worth it to go and hear her play. Like when she played,
I'm confident in saying that Golden Hour is like one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yes, it's that is when I was listening on Friday, right? We went Thursday. I was listening to it Friday, and we were texting about it, and I was like, this is such an appropriate album of the year winner.
Yeah.
Like this is real album of the year stuff. And I thought that way the first time I heard the album, and I definitely leading up to the Grammys, I was riding hard for it, and then we of course remember that it became cool to like make fun of that album for whatever
And people
reason.
were like,
It got,
"How the
the
hell
La La
did this
Land
win?"
treatment,
And they were like, "White people, whatever."
Right,
And it's
it's
just like
that's a
that was
great
that was like a real registering moment for like, okay, we're just gonna find ways to complain about fucking everything.
right. People will shit on things that they haven't checked out.
Right, and it's like you can say that this wasn't my favorite album of the year,
Yeah.
or like I didn't think it should win, but like acting like it's an abomination that a incredible album won album of the year.
Yeah.
It bugs me. But I've been hammering Golden Hour, and I asked you on Friday or Saturday, I was like, yo, what do you think my favorite song from Golden Hour is? And
Oh, that's not fair. You said, what do you think?
Oh,
like,
okay.
well, like, what's your favorite or something? If
Yeah,
I
but
were to
then- but
guess
then- but then I-
yours,
but then-
I still wouldn't have guessed it. But
no, I think like I asked you what your favorite was.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, I asked you what your favorite was. You told me, and I was like, huh. You named like 3 or 4 songs, and I was like,
Yeah.
mine's none of those. Try to guess mine.
oh,
And then you
okay.
guess like 4
I
or
s- I
5
guessed-
more songs.
Yeah.
You guessed like 8 or 9 songs, and it was none of those songs.
That shows you how many great songs are
Right.
on that album. Although
was
it's
my
weird,
point,
if
yeah.
I'd really thought about it and you were like, "What do you think?" I've listened to this album. What do you think it is? I think honestly, I would guess that your favorite was High Horse, and that wasn't one that I guessed. And it's not your favorite. It's the other cowboy one.
That's
Space
right.
Cowboy.
Space Cowboy and Rainbow, I think, are my 1A, 1B.
Rainbow's awesome. I love it very much. It is very, very similar to Desperado, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that like Don Henley has been like,
Well, that guy loves
I
lawsuits.
get lawsuits.
Yeah.
I can has album of the year money. But it's a beautiful song, and she closed with it, of course. My favorite song on that album is "Oh What a World."
It's a great song.
I think that is. I haven't talked to Wayne much about that album, but that song, for whatever reason, reminds me of Wayne because that's just like a real good studio creation. It's just like great players playing a great song. There's like pedal steel, but there's also vocoder on it. It's a little weird. I think that "Oh What a World" and "Then There Is You" is such a romantic lyric. It's obviously about a lover, but I don't know that it's necessarily meant to be like super quote unquote romantic. But I just think that's such a beautiful thing and such a beautiful perspective to have of like, oh my God, there's like so many great things and so many things are beautiful.
And then on top of
And
that, there's
plus,
you.
Like, I don't know, it just like makes me think like there's this big world out there, and then like you're also this kind of big world. I think it's such a great lyric. But that song, like when she started, the first song she played off Golden Hour was Golden Hour, and video keeps freezing.
It keeps freezing. I'm not sure why.
I'm sure we'll be okay.
Yeah.
The first song she played off Golden Hour was Golden Hour, and that was like she played maybe 4 or 5 songs to that point, and it was just like hearing, the beginning of "The Way" by Fastball.
Probably.
I'll do this one instead. You know the beginning of Vineyard Nights 1?
I sure
by
do.
Me?
I sure do.
You know in the beginning it sounds okay audio quality wise, but it's like a little muffled, but you just think, okay, well, like whatever, it's just a little muffled. I can
deal with this.
Yeah, like this is fine. I can deal with this. And then it goes normal.
Yeah.
But when it goes from a little muffled to normal,
It's like nuclear.
it's just so clear, and like it just sounds super, super clear. That's the kind of effect it had where like you're kind of, when you listen to those first few songs, it's like you're looking at something in standard definition. And then when she starts playing Golden Hour, which is not even like a top 6 song on that album,
Right.
might not even be like a top 8 song on that album, it's like, oh my God, the quality has just jumped so much. And so she did that. She did Butterfly. I was drunk at that point. I was just like yelling. I was like, best country song in a while, folks. You just heard it. Yes. Good.
Also, the stage design was awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was like very simple but very very clean and awesome.
And she's such a good showman. She was up there just like fucking comfortable, man. Was wearing
Yeah, she was wearing like
had,
sort of looked like a sweat.
very cool like nice pants.
Yeah.
That just looked super comfortable.
Yeah, it looked like it was like bougie sweats.
Oh,
honestly,
right. Whatever she was wearing for her bottoms were probably,
like
I would guess, at least
$1,000.
$3,000. Yeah, but there's something about her as a singer that I think doesn't get enough credit. She's not going to go out there and like belt and bowl you over and do like a Sarah Bareilles, Ariana Grande, even Adele type of thing, but she is never sharp or flat. Everything she sings is sung perfectly in tune, and that is so unusual. It's borderline distracting. And when you hear that on an album, you assume that that's kind of like what Taylor Swift albums sound like, where okay, like they've made it sound perfect, and that's fine. That's how a lot of things are. Taylor Swift's probably the biggest example of that. But that's legitimately how Kacey Musgraves sings. And I can't think of another vocalist. I was going through rock bands. I'm like, nobody else is like this. It's like the opposite of Alicia Keys, where every note she hits is like a little off, and that's cool. That's kind of Alicia Keys' sound. But Kacey Musgraves does not get enough appreciation. I mean, clearly she doesn't get enough appreciation that her perfect album wins album of the year, and everyone's like, no, anything else. But she doesn't get enough credit as a singer.
She is an incredible singer. She's one of my favorites. Also, another one of my favorite singers, Maggie Rogers, was like 20 feet behind us at this show.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What was going on there?
I have no idea. So I didn't realize this. She's been hitting up all the good shows in Boston like over the past like year or two because she's getting her master's at Harvard.
Oh, interesting.
So apparently Maggie Rogers just lives in Boston.
That happens sometimes. Sarah Bareilles lived in Boston for a little while.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Every now and then, cool people live in Boston. And at all times, what's-his-face lives in Boston? John Malkovich. So
Really?
Oh, yeah. John Malkovich lives in Boston.
Do people just like see him?
Yeah. Did I never told you about the story
No.
of my friend at the gym?
No.
My friend's at the gym, and he sees John Malkovich, who he thinks is John Malkovich, across the room. So he goes up to another guy there, stranger at the gym, and he says, hey, excuse me, see that guy over there? And the guy says to him, John Malkovich? And he was like, yeah.
That's him, right?
I guess that's, right, you're right. But instead of
Like,
the guy being like, the guy at that machine, the guy was like, the guy that's John Malkovich? And he was like, oh, yeah, I was going to ask if that's John Malkovich. And he was like, oh, okay, have a good one.
At my old gym, the guitarist from Boston went there.
Tom Schultz?
I don't know. I just know that he was in Boston.
I mean, the guitarist of Boston.
I think it was the guitarist.
Was
from
like
Boston.
the real,
He was like very tall and slender.
very skinny man.
Yeah, I think that's him.
I mean, I don't want to tell tales out of school, but he wrote this album. He did it by himself. He recorded it in his basement, and he got signed. He said, okay, I've got a band. He got this guy, Brad Delp. This is Watertown, Massachusetts. In his apartment, he makes this demo, and he sends it. It gets signed, and they say, okay, great. Now we're going to set you up with a producer, and you're going to record these songs for real. And he was offended by that. He was like, no one's going to make these songs as good as I can make them. So here's what I'm going to do. He met with his producer, and he said, hey, you want to make the easiest money you've ever made in your life? I'm going to send some guys in my band out to California. You are going to hang out in the recording studio. You can do whatever you want in there. I am going to swoop up my home studio. Me and Brad are going to make these songs in my studio. If we need drums, we'll get drums. We'll figure it out. You basically just distract the label and work on things. If they ask how's the album coming along, say, we're working on things. And one of the greatest albums ever, and that's what happened. It's called Boston. You know that album?
I do.
I listen to that album frequently. It's one of the top-selling albums ever. I think it's like I would guess top 20 albums.
It's got a UFO on it.
It's got a UFO on it. You're right. It's also got More Than a Feeling on it. UFO is on the album. Honestly, it has UFO on like the album art. It does.
That's what I meant.